A potential peace breakthrough just slammed shut, leaving the world wondering what's next. Donald Trump's highly anticipated meeting with Vladimir Putin in Hungary is officially off the table, raising serious concerns about the future of peace negotiations between the US and Russia. But here's where it gets controversial. The reason behind the cancellation reveals a deep divide and potentially sets the stage for further escalation. The White House confirmed that the US president will not be meeting with his Russian counterpart in the immediate future. This dramatic shift follows a phone call between negotiators from both countries that, to put it mildly, went south. The initial plan was for this call to pave the way for productive peace talks, acting as a crucial preliminary step. Just days prior, on Thursday, Mr. Trump had expressed his intention to meet with Putin in Budapest, contingent upon successful talks between high-level advisors. The idea was to have officials from each side convene in Hungary to lay the groundwork for a productive summit between the two leaders. However, sources report that Moscow unexpectedly cancelled plans for any in-person preparatory meeting. And this is the part most people miss. The key players in this diplomatic dance were Sergei Lavrov, the Russian foreign minister, and Marco Rubio, the US Secretary of State. Their phone call on Monday, intended to bridge the gap, reportedly did the opposite. According to multiple reports, the call was far from amicable. The sticking point? Mr. Lavrov reportedly informed Mr. Rubio that Russia would flatly refuse any agreement that involved freezing the current front lines in Ukraine. This is a crucial detail, because it suggests Russia is unwilling to settle for the territory it currently holds and intends to pursue further gains. Interestingly, despite these reports, the White House initially downplayed the severity of the call, describing it on Tuesday as productive. They stated that because of this supposed productivity, an additional in-person meeting between the Secretary and Foreign Minister wasn't necessary, thus negating the need for a Trump-Putin summit in the immediate future. But was the White House putting a positive spin on a breakdown in communication? Lavrov himself confirmed Russia's unyielding stance, stating to reporters in Moscow that Russia's position remained unchanged from understandings reached during a previous summit in Alaska. This rigid stance has actually been met with some relief from Ukrainian and European sources, who feared that President Volodymyr Zelensky would be pressured to concede territory to Moscow as the price for peace. The fear was that Trump might push Zelensky into a deal that would effectively legitimize Russia's territorial gains. The Coalition of the Willing, a group of allied European nations, issued a statement accusing Putin of employing stalling tactics in his interactions with Mr. Trump, further fueling the narrative of Russian intransigence. "We can all see that Putin continues to choose violence and destruction," the statement added, highlighting the deep distrust many European nations harbor towards Putin's intentions. Since his meeting with President Trump in Alaska, Putin has reportedly demanded that Ukraine withdraw from its eastern Donbas regions, Donetsk and Luhansk, as a precondition for peace negotiations. This is a non-starter for Ukraine, as it would essentially cede control of significant territory to Russia. Adding another layer of complexity, Mr. Trump reportedly pressured Mr. Zelensky to accept this proposal during a meeting at the White House. This alleged pressure campaign further underscores the delicate balancing act between seeking peace and upholding Ukraine's sovereignty. However, the surrender of Donetsk, which Moscow has struggled to fully occupy since 2014, remains a red line for President Zelensky, who has consistently stated his willingness to negotiate only on the basis of the current front lines. This fundamental disagreement on territorial integrity lies at the heart of the stalled negotiations. In a potentially conflicting statement, Mr. Trump, speaking to reporters, seemed to align himself with the Ukrainian position, insisting that he wanted to see the fighting stop at the lines where they are, the battle lines. This apparent shift raises questions about the consistency of the US position, and whether Trump is truly committed to pressuring Ukraine to make concessions. Adding a final note of ambiguity, the Kremlin, through spokesman Dmitry Peskov, pointed out that no concrete date had ever been definitively set for the Trump-Putin meeting. "Listen, we have an understanding of the presidents, but we cannot postpone what has not been finalized," Peskov stated. Neither President Trump nor President Putin gave exact dates. So, what does this all mean? The cancellation of the Trump-Putin meeting signals a significant setback for potential peace negotiations. The deep divisions between Russia and Ukraine, particularly regarding territorial concessions, remain a major obstacle. The conflicting messages and reported pressure tactics from the US side further complicate the situation. Controversy and comment hook. Was the Trump administration right to initially describe the phone call as productive, even if it masked deeper disagreements? Was Trump's apparent shift to supporting the current battle lines a genuine change of heart, or a tactical maneuver? And perhaps the most important question, is a negotiated peace even possible at this point? Or are we headed for a prolonged conflict? Share your thoughts and predictions in the comments below.